So we've had this conversation before, and I will remind you where this conversation started from. So I had a YouTube international trip about 2 years ago, and my passport was about 2 weeks before it expired. And so here I am running around like headless chicken because I also needed to run to the YouTube office in Santon. I also needed to run here and do a whole lot of things for this particular trip. So here of course the priority was the passport, get it renewed because it was going to expire when I was overseas. So I ran to Home Affairs. When I ran to Home Affairs, I stand in the queue like the way I've always known it to be. Only to find out when it was around 8:30 to 9 that I needed to book online in order for me to be seen in Home Affairs. I was like, excuse me, what do you mean that I need to book online? They said, well, that is how we do it now. So I did it on the spot. But when I did it on the spot, I was given 3 weeks. I was like, hey, hold up a minute. I don't have 3 weeks. I need to be on this trip next week. So 3 weeks of me renewing my passport, that was not going to happen. So I needed to speak to somebody inside Home Affairs, and I show them the letter that comes from YouTube and all of that stuff. And I'm showing them my passport and the dates that show that my passport is about to expire. And please, you need to have mercy on me. Let me tell you something. South African government and government officials don't care about South Africans. They will tell you, well, that's how it is. Sorry, we cannot help you. You're like, what must I do now? They'll say, well, we don't know what to do. You're just going to have to wait for the 3 weeks. And yet, this individual sees that I don't have 3 weeks. I was so angry, so upset. But anyways, there are many ways to skin a cat, right? So what do you do in a case like this? You have to write to the Director General of Home Affairs or the minister himself. So I did it both. I wrote to the DG as well as the minister. Well, fortunately, both of them ordered that Home Affairs to see me. They were not happy. I'm going to tell you that one thing. They were not happy. But anyways, I was helped. Now, this got me thinking because there's something that keeps developing right before our eyes. And as it develops, it is kicking out a particular type of South African. And I'm talking about digitalization. I am all for modernizing Home Affairs. I'm all about modernity as a whole. I feel like evolution is very important. We cannot be stuck in one place for far too long. But in the 21st century, where now South Africans, in as much as we are 95% literate, there's still that 5% of South Africans that are illiterate. Yes, most of them, our grandparents, great-grandparents, even our aunts and uncles who are in the mid-50s going up. And these people constantly have to fight for their lives when it comes to, let's say, online banking or sending money from their app to their grandchild at university. They have to fight all of those things. But before they even get it right, they make a whole lot of mistakes, sending money to wrong people. And of course, heartless people will not say, hang on a minute, somebody sent me money and I'm not quite sure what this money is. But that's you and your conscience. So these people make a lot of mistakes, but also in the 95% of people that are literate like myself, I had no idea that Home Affairs, you now needed to book in order to be seen by Home Affairs. I'm wondering how many of the 95% literate South Africans, black, white, Indian, colored, you name it, that are falling in this crack of the modernization of Home Affairs. Did you know that? Where were we when we were told, I don't know when this was done, where we were told that in order now to go to Home Affairs, you need to book an appointment. And the question is, what's the whole purpose of booking an appointment? Because there, when I finally got in, because I had to go to the upper people, are still was not seen on that day. The day that I was given, I was still not seen. You know why I was not seen? Did you see that lady that stood up on top of a chair in Home Affairs and told on the Home Affairs officials about 150 Rand? Yeah, that was me in the, what do you call this, in this particular Home Affairs, where illegal foreigners that had come to, I don't know, to do what with their papers, they were paying money to be ahead of me. I noticed all of those things, but I thought, hey, at some point this is going to end and they're gonna see me. I was like, it's too, now that I'm inside. The very lady, the manager of that Home Affairs, when it came, I think from 2:30, if it was not 3, they stopped seeing. They'll make an announcement. From this point on, we cannot see people. You're gonna have to rebook your appointment. I was like, loco, because I was also taking some videos for evidence. How is it possible that I am number 17, 17, but I am still not seen by 9:30, by 11:30, by 12:30, lunchtime? Of course, I get that. And then it gets to a point where Home Affairs closes and I'm number 17 and everybody else is going ahead of me. And if you think corruption in Home Affairs is over, no, it's not. But you know what I did? I whipped out that email from the DGN minister. And I was like, here's some videos that I was taking of what was going on. And you are not going to tell me come tomorrow. Even if it means I'm the last person and it's 12 midnight to do what I came here for, that is exactly what we are going to do. Because you're like corrupt. I pointed her right between her eyes. I was like, y'all are corrupt. And all the corruption is happening in your presence, under your watch. And she was like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to report this. Of course, I did send the videos to the Minister of Home Affairs about what's going on in that Home Affairs. Even when you have booked your appointment, this is what you still go through. These people, as Home Affairs, they are not interested in curbing corruption. No, they are not afraid of getting arrested. In other words, that's what I'm saying. Because had they been afraid and seeing everything that's happening in the country, that white lady with the white dress and boots would not have stood up on that chair and told on Home Affairs. But the point of this video is not that. It is digitalization. Digitalization in South Africa comes with financial implications. Number one, in order for one to book an appointment at Home Affairs, what do you need? Yeah, you need data. You need data. So how is it possible that South Africa is going to move from Stone Age methodology of doing things to digitalization without first solving out the problem of airtime or data or whatever the case might be? Because I would have assumed that in order for me to make an appointment with Home Affairs and I go to Home Affairs, in fact, the moment, I don't know, there's no, I would assume no data is going to be required. That's what I'm trying to say. So that I can smoothly make an appointment and get the code and get all the necessary information that is needed. And then when I go there, I know what I'm going to get, because the machine and my phone and everything else will be in sync, right? But no, you have to spend money. And now South Africans, this is the part where I'm talking about, there's a certain type of South African that is going to fall in the cracks. The South African that lives in the rural areas, that has to take a transport that's going to town with a bus probably that comes once a week. Once a week. You miss that bus, you're going to have to wait another, I don't know, week or something like of that nature. That type of South African is already prejudiced. Now, I cannot fathom in my wildest dreams, and in as much as we are moving towards modernity, where your own citizenship is being challenged by the very institution that is supposed to make sure that your citizenship has no hiccups. But here we are. One has to book an appointment, and that appointment you are told, oh, it's going to be 3 weeks from now. So what happens to my citizenship in the 3 weeks? So I'm just going to linger. Is that what you're saying? That is unconstitutional. It's against the Constitution. And we are also getting threatened about the green barcoded ID. I love my green barcoded ID. Maybe that's why I'm talking the way I am. That's my citizenship. If you cut it off, you are telling me by virtue of cutting off my green barcoded ID, it doesn't make me a South African no more. Is that what we are being told? It doesn't make you a South African no more. That's unconstitutional. Let me be the one that says, okay, or maybe because of the modernity that is happening in South Africa, let me be forced by the technology for me to come with a smart card. That will force me to go and get a smart card, not a green barcoded ID. Because when I get to a certain machine, for example, it's going to say, okay, insert your smart ID. I have a green barcoded ID. And they're like, well, you need a smart card because a smart card has this chip and has that and has this technology and that and da 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 da. While the green barcoded ID does not have all of those things. Yes, there is some sort of discrimination, but it's fair discrimination. Now, me as a citizen, I would look at the situation that will force me to go to Home Affairs. Not threaten me that by December, if your green barcoded ID is not converted into a smart card, no, you have no right to threaten me that way, or any South African for that matter. So our government is not thinking for a whole lot of South Africans when it comes to this digitalization, because it requires you to have money. That's the problem. Where do we get the money from? Who employed many South Africans that sits at almost 40% of unemployment in this country? Where's the money to be going to town? And then when you get to town, you sit at Home Affairs while Home Affairs officials are putting foreigners in front and taking 150 rand from them and still don't get seen. And then they tell you, Home Affairs, oh, well, we're about to close this bunch of people that we are working on now. They're the last group. And you are number 17, according to your booking online. You are number 17. That means you, by 10 o'clock, you should have long gone out of Home Affairs office. Not even by 10, probably by 8:30. You're supposed to be gone. But no, it is 3 o'clock and you are still in there. But yet people are going in front of you, It's the most upsetting thing I am telling you, because every decision that is being made in South Africa right now, finances, how do I put this? There's financial implications on every decision that is being made in South Africa. And you are not thinking for the poor of the country as you are busy evolving. There is no sense of education or a sense of training for other people that might not understand this new change. You're just taking them, throwing them in the deep end and moving on. And nobody's talking about this. Very, 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 probably like a handful of people are talking about this. I've spoken about it before and everybody looked at me dumb like, what are you talking about? I get it. It was 2003, before digitalization was even a thing. But I foresaw it. And I always said Home Affairs must digitalize, and we must no longer have warm bodies that are dealing with South Africans. We must do things at the comfort of our homes without leaving home when I'm dealing with Home Affairs. Either I'm going to deal with Home Affairs through my bank, or I'm going to deal with Home Affairs while I'm lying in bed in the morning getting my passport renewed. And all that I'm going to be told is where I'm going to pick it up. Am I going to pick it up at my bank, or am I going to pick it up at a designated Home Affairs office or a designated Home Affairs post office or some sort? I don't know. But what I need to do is to be convenient, But all of that, of course, it requires money. But where is this money coming from, especially from poor people? I don't know. I just thought, I'm seeing that video triggered me. That video, that lady did the right thing. She did the right thing. I wish Karens actually tortured the people that are torturing us. You know, I'm not saying she's a Karen, but what I'm saying is, I wish Karens they tortured the people that torture us. That lady is my hero. When what she did at Home Affairs, I loved every moment of it. The guys, standing on top of the chairs. Guys, listen to me. Listen. I was like, okay, girl, I'm listening. What's going to happen? What are you about to tell us? I knew what she was going to say. I knew what she was going to say because I've been through it. And it's not only me. A lot of South Africans have been through it. But do you think Home Affairs learned it and listened? I'm talking about the officials. No, they're going to have a cool off period and then they're going to start their nonsense again. Do what that white lady did. Frustrate them until they walk the straight and narrow. Never turn off your phone when you are dealing with Home Affairs people. When you go to Home Affairs, just don't switch off your camera. Have it on throughout. Because something dramatic might happen. It might happen to somebody else or it might happen to you. You have to capture it until Home Affairs no longer has warm bodies to deal with. Anyways, I thought let me vent a little bit on this one because I feel like the government is, yes, moving in the right direction, but as they move in the right direction, they are also leaving a whole lot of people behind. Every decision that is made in South Africa has financial implication. And who has to pay for it? It is us. And we don't have money. And many South Africans are unemployed. And if a South African gets an opportunity overseas right now that is unemployed, and then they have to deal with Home Affairs, that means where are they going to get the money to get to Home Affairs to make passport? When are they also going to have money to make an appointment with Home Affairs? And going once again, they have to. I think you have to, if I remember, to go pick up your passport. They send you I think it was a message, a SMS. I can't remember if it was an SMS or a WhatsApp. And then you still have to press some few other things. That means you need to have airtime or you need to have data. And you still have to go to Home Affairs to go pick up your passport. Where are they going to get all this money from? Where? I thought the whole appointment thing or making an appointment online thing is to reduce the number inside the Home Affairs offices. But instead, we have people that have no respect for order because they have money. And our officials and their greed. Anyways, I hope everything is okay. Let me continue watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I'm feeling very bad for the witness. The witness messed up by not following procedure. But at the same time, I think I get it. It's inexcusable, but I get it. He's a human being. Anyways, goodbye.